You have to be optimistic about life. The more positive energy that you can bring into your life, it rubs off on other people. Positivity is an infection. When you are happy and you're outgoing and you love life and you see the bright side of things and you're not a negative person, then that's where people want to surround themselves with you. That's where people want to spend time with you, your family, your friends. We need more of that in the world today. We need more people being positive and loving and working together with each other rather than being negative and hateful, because it takes a lot of energy to be negative. It doesn't take a lot of energy to be positive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Eternal Optimist Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Drinkon. And today, it is a sincere honor and pleasure to have, one of America's finest warriors on our show. Big Country, Brian Cornwell is going to join us today, and he's got a hell of a story for you. So buckle up and get ready. And first, I like to say this when we have any of our armed services veterans on our show, is that, I grew up in a military family and have the highest degree of respect for those who are warriors for our country. And those who don't know anything about it or never grew up in that lifestyle, then you have no idea, what someone goes through who is a part of our fighting force. And on paper, it may seem simple. It's not. And this man today, he has sacrificed for our country. So with a lot of respect, it's a pleasure to bring to our show, Brian Big Country Cornwell. Big Country, how are you today, my friend?
Doing pretty great, man. The weather's warming up. Spring's back on the East Coast. So life is great right now.
Nice. Well, I can see you here. I love what you got on. You got a shirt on. It says something about excuses. Don't make them. Excuses, they don't burn calories. I love this. This is cool. Brian, tell us a little bit about you. Who is Brian Cornwell, Big Country?
Oh, man, just a down old Southern boy from South Carolina. Moved up to North Carolina in '98. Finished out high school and went and joined the military, man. After a few years after high school, I've always had a passion for serving my country. I was raised in my early childhood by my grandfather, who was retired Navy. My other grandfather on my dad's side was in the Army. So I've always had that military buzz, in my ear. So finally ended up joining one day. And during my military service, I actually done a lot of genealogy reports. And come to find out that my family has served in every single conflict that America's been in since the Revolutionary War. So no wonder, it's in the blood that we wanted to go so bad. I actually gave up a 4-year scholarship to David Lipscomb University to play basketball. So just a military brat, man.
Dude, that's cool. Yeah, me too. I mean, growing up in the military, I think we're about the same age. You might be a little bit younger than me. Yeah, you're 3 years younger than me. So your grandfather helped raise you, and he was Navy. Did he storm the beaches at Normandy, or what was his role in World War II or Vietnam? What did he do in the military?
It was World War II. He was a chief engineer of the ship that he was on, so he was actually underneath making sure that the engine and everything was running properly and whatnot. So yeah, he had a pretty big job. And then once he got out, he went to teach welding at a community college. So, got to carry some of those skills over into the public sector.
Heck yeah. Well, as I was saying to the Big Country before we started, the people that this civilian wants serving our country wants on my side. I want people that are, from the country, in Malden, South Carolina. That's who I want on my side, because I grew up. I'm in North Carolina right now, and I went to high school in South Carolina, so I can appreciate that. Well, Big Country, it's time for the big question. I like to ask every guest, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to endure and overcome so far in your life? And start us somewhere and take us on a journey, my friend, and we're all ears. Anywhere you want to go.
Really the hardest thing I have had to deal with is coming back home after losing my left leg above the knee. My right leg is what they call a limb salvage. Between the kneecap and the ankle, there's 30 screws, 4 plates, and a 10-inch rod. I can't feel my right foot, so it's like having a below-the-knee amputation on the right side. It was coming home, trying to figure out, what I was going to do with my kids, what I was going to do with my family, how I was going to live life again. It was a very, very troubling time. I was medically retired October of 2015 from Fort Sam Houston, came home and fell in that dark depression. I was 415 pounds. I spent a year in the hospital. I ran off a 150-foot ravine on Fort Riley, ended up crushing both my legs. Just one of those accidents that you don't ever think would ever happen to you that ended up happening. Came home, like I said, fell in that dark place. My kids were still too young that they didn't really understand what was going on. They didn't know how to help. They were at that young age, and my family was kind of the same way. They wanted to be there, but there again, they didn't want to offend me or make anything sound awkward by trying to help a certain way. On top of with PTSD and stuff like that, I guess I was a difficult person to be around for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I hear you.
We spent about 5 years like that. I pretty much locked the doors and closed the windows and just sat in my own self-pity for quite a while.
I hear you, man. That must be something, losing one leg, like the entire left leg, and then the right leg isn't working anymore. So I guess for most people will never know what that's like. We can only speculate. So what are some of the basic things that I may not even realize you had to endure and go through? Just walk us through what were some of the initial challenges physically that led to the mental depression and the space you got into?
Well, the big one was having doctors tell me that I would never walk again. And they said if I was, that it would always be assisted. I'd have some type of crutches or a walker or something like that. That because of the damage of my right leg, they wasn't sure that it was going to support my body weight and whatnot, that it could be very painful. And losing that normalcy that we take for granted when it comes to a lot of things like walking or turning the doorknob or just looking and looking around and being able to see things. We take those for granted because we don't ever think about something traumatic happening to us like that, like losing a limb or losing our vision. It's until it's gone, and then it's like, oh, wow, I have to change my life completely now because I'm disabled. I have to find different ways to do different things now. That was a struggle for a while. It really sucked.
Dude, I relate to this, man. After my zipline accident, and I couldn't leave the house for a while and couldn't walk and was in a wheelchair and couldn't cook, couldn't make love, couldn't pick up my 25-pound kid, and we were pregnant with another one, and just that was a really, really tough time. I'm almost coming to tears just thinking about it now. And you had to do that with no legs, and the doctor saying you're never going to walk again. And man, so you go into this mental place where you got some PTSD and there's a little depression, and you kind of keep to yourself for a while. How did you start to get out of that, Big Country? Because obviously you look great now. I love your energy now. I mean, it feels like you've made a lot of progress. So how did you start to realize, like, when did you realize you're in this place and what did you do to get out of it?
And not too many people can kind of relate to this, but I have a shadow box sitting right above my fireplace behind me. It was about the beginning of September 2020. I kind of looked over at it and I was like, this is my fault. I'm sitting here depressed and wallowing in my own self-pity. What have I done for myself to be able to get up and start living life again? Besides sitting here, having the doctor in my ears saying that I wasn't going to be able to walk and I don't have nobody around. That's because I'm not doing anything for myself. So who would want to be around me anyway? So I pulled my wheelchair over and used the kitchen bar to stand up. And I played pinball with the walls in my house for a couple of weeks and taught myself how to walk. Took a few falls, took a couple of bumps down the road, but I don't know, man. It was something about looking at that picture of me when I was downrange in my shadow box. I was like, I've been through a lot already. And there's nothing that's holding me back saying that I can't overcome this too. So it was more of a self-reflection that woke me up. It's like, you know what, I can do this. A couple of weeks, taught myself how to walk. My son's 20th birthday was that October. And he was the first person to see me walk. I took my chair. I was like, hey, son, I'm going to go in here, use the bathroom. He was in here cooking. And I rolled into my dining room. I slipped my leg on and I come walking around the corner, and just the look on his face was just immaculate. Yeah, man. I had just started getting on TikTok, went outside and walked to my mailbox for the first time by myself. And I did a little video that got a few 100,000 views. And, people were chanting and just the amazing positivity that was coming through just really pumped me up. Started dabbling in the gym a little bit. Like I'd go maybe once or twice a week, just trying to get the feel of things. I started going into convenience stores and then went to the grocery store and then went into the mall. And then before you know it, man, I stopped carrying my wheelchair in the back of my truck. I left it home and got back at it, man. So February 2021, I was back in the gym full time, 5 days a week at 415 pounds, rocking it, feeling great, going in and doing 2 workouts a day. I changed my diet. I stopped eating all the processed meat and all the other stuff and just turned my complete mental and physical focus back like if I was in the military again.
Wow. So just to highlight a couple high points here, this started with you saying to yourself, this is my fault. What have I done for myself? What I love about that so much is you took that ownership. I mean, I go straight to, like Jocko's book, Extreme Ownership, where I just go straight to any leader who says the first thing you got to do is you got to own yourself. So I love that you did that first. And then after that, you taught yourself to walk. That was like the first step, taught yourself to walk. And then from there, you changed your diet. You got rid of the processed stuff. You got back in the gym. So notice, listeners, everything that Big Country just shared, he owned it. He had to do it. He had to figure out a way to get out of his head and into his own process. And he had to own it. That's the first thing he had to do is own himself. So just much respect, my friend, for making that decision. Because and I remember the tough times too, man. I'm crying. I'm going to cry at the man on the line right now. So I'm with you, and I appreciate that. So you changed your diets, February 2021. You're going to the gym 5 times a week. You're 415 pounds. Take us forward from there, Big Country. What happened next?
So my case manager at the VA was like, it's really nice to start seeing the positive side of you. Referred me to rec therapy, which introduced me to the National Veteran Wheelchair Games, which is adaptive sports. I was like, sure, it's time to get out of our comfort zone. It's time to take this up a notch. So it was in the middle of Times Square, New York City. So I was like, sure, why not go from the countryside to the big city? So we packed up and took a flight to New York City. We spent, I think it was like 10 days out there. Our hotel was literally right there in Times Square. I was in my wheelchair for a lot of that, not knowing the terrain and whatnot, but took a silver medal in discus and took a bronze shot, never threw an implement before. I fell in love with sports. So I came back home and got me a couple of coaches, got me a fitness coach, and fast forward to 2022, ended up winning, I think 4 gold medals, a couple of silvers, a couple of bronze. That was my first full year of competition in adaptive sports. I got my Paralympic license in shot put and disc, so I got a chance to make Team USA one day. So we're sitting here. We're going into our 4th full year this year. The last 3 years, I got a total of 21 medals hanging on my wall right now. Pictures from each competition that I've been at. Completely fell in love with adaptive sports. It gave me my purpose back. It's kept me in the gym. I'm down to 280 now. Not as big. Well, not as fat as I was. I'm still pretty big, but still in the gym, 5 days a week. And it's led me to my passion, which is helping other people with disabilities see that their disabilities doesn't have to be a hindrance, but their disability can be a superpower for them to live their best life.
Please continue on this, Joe. This is amazing. Keep talking about what it means to you to help others see that their disability actually can be a superpower. Keep going. This is great.
Well, me coming out of my shell and accepting my disabilities, number one, led me to the love of my life. I got remarried 3 years ago to my wife, Elizabeth, who is just the best woman on this earth, gave me 3 more amazing kids. My other kids, they see that it doesn't matter what life puts in front of them. As long as you work hard, you can achieve things. But I want to give this type of happiness back to other people with disabilities because I've been in that dark place. I've been in that hard moment. And I want to be that person that can reach out and be like, hey, come over here. Let me show you how to work this. Let's change your mindset. Let's change the way that you live. Start being you again. Don't let your disability be a hindrance. Don't let it stop you from getting out of the house or going to compete in sports or go to the movies or go to the mall. Own it and live with it and be happy. So that has led me to my nonprofit that I had just started called Veterans Battlegrounds. It's a 501c3 right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are going to hold an adaptive sports competition at UNCC June of 2027. Will be our first competition. We will hold 215 disabled veteran athletes in 10 individual sports and 3 team sports, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, sitting volleyball, track and field, powerlifting, archery, swimming, cycling. All the events are going to be held at Paralympic standards. So that way they are already, seeing what it's like to be able to compete at that elite level. It's going to be branch against branch. So it's going to be Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, and SOCOM.
Yeah.
And we also got 15 athletes coming over from the pond from UK. So we're going to have Team UK as our 6th team coming out. UNCC is our venue, using their basketball courts and their track and their field in other sections of the school. I got some amazing people on my staff so far, really passionate. Some adaptive athletes already, some on board. We got a couple civilians on our team that is just very passionate about helping these veterans with disabilities, like I said before, just you own their disabilities and live their best life. It's possible. I've been there. I've done that. I wore the T-shirt. I actually got a shirt on my website that says my disabilities are my superpowers. I mean, that just popped in my head one day. It's like, you know what? This actually has made me a better person than I think I would have been without them. So, just that positivity on life, man. We just had a sneak peek premiere this past weekend of a documentary that was shot on me. So that's going to be hitting streaming services here pretty soon. A real tearjerker. We had a few people start really crying during that sneak peek, but we also had a lot of laughs too. I try to make a couple of jokes in there as well, just to kind of lift people up, man. But we all sit here and wonder what our true purpose here on this earth. In the beginning, I thought it was me to be a soldier for the rest of my life because my family's been in the military forever, but that wasn't it. My dream job was my so-called dream job was cut short at almost 10 years. But this is my purpose. This is the reason why I lost my legs. This is the reason why I'm still here. Is to help show other people that is in that dark hole with disabilities, like, hey, man, you can still live life. You can still be happy. You can still fall in love. You can still be successful. It's all right here, and it's all right here.
Amen. That's right. And by the way, I'm looking at your website right now. Let's see. There's some really cool shirts on here and the cup. I love it. I love some of these here. My disability is my superpower. And of course, a couple Savage AFs. And we got Sergeant Big Country right here. This is a pretty cool website. What is the website? If we want to send them, where's the place we can send them to go?
The website is sgtbc.com. Just an abbreviation of Sergeant Big Country, sgtbc.com. There's all kinds of gym merch on there for men and women. It's a bio about me. Got pictures of me competing in the gym and stuff like that. Just me being me.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many cool pictures on here about it. So, yeah. So seeing it here this must be Elizabeth here on the website too. Oh, this is super cool. So you got to check out this website. Do you have a website for your Veterans Battleground 501c3 as well?
We are in the process of putting that together. We literally just got our EIN paperwork last week. So I just got the bank accounts and everything open. But the team and I have been building this for the last 30 days.
Yeah, nice.
When I say I got some amazing people, brother, I mean, I really got some amazing people involved. There's a couple of reality TV stars that's jumping in. We got a 3-time Emmy Award winning actor that's going to be doing commercials for us. There's some CEOs of some pretty big companies that's already really, really interested in investing in stuff like that. But it is all the way. It will be out here shortly. We got the domain. It's going to be bbgg.org. Already purchased the domain. Like, it's literally in the process of being built and everything, because there's so much going into that website. We got a video that's going on there that's going to explain adaptive sports. So you're going to hear testimonials from other athletes. You're going to hear testimonials from coaches, from myself. There's going to be, of course, donation tabs, recurring donations, the whole bio and the whole mission statement behind Veterans Battlegrounds and whatnot. So we want to make sure it's perfect before we launch it. Just like with anything we do.
You also talk about, in the bio that I'm reading, talk about that you have a goal to make the 2028 Paralympics in Los Angeles. So you're in the gym 5 days a week right now. And I imagine that you probably looked and seen there might be some certain events you're training for. You've named discus shot put, you've named some things. So how far off are you right now in your training from being prepared to, go compete and qualify for the U.S. Olympic team?
I was about 3 centimeters shy of making the Paralympic trials last year.
It doesn't sound like much, but I'm sure it's an inch is a mile at the highest level of elite athletes. So
it is.
What are you doing to make those 3 centimeters up? How are you training? How are you mentally preparing for that? Yeah.
Well, mentally, it's just in my mind. I can do it. I don't. I'm actually proud of myself. In 3 years to come that close. I mean, that's that work mentality. We're just adjusting how we lift. I got my throwing frame set up right outside my house, so it's nothing to go get in it, strap down, practice our throws. I'm aiming for shot put. I am an F57. I got my Paralympic license. So if you Google IPC master list, you'll actually be able to go to the International Paralympic Committee website, look up United States and see my name sitting on there with my license number. We just got word that somebody from overseas that deals with the committee is about to give us disc back, which I'm really excited about, because sitting down, I can throw the disc about 30 meters. So that's chunking it out there a little bit. The world record for seated shot put right now is 16 meters. And last time I measured my throw, I was just a little over 10. So we're making progress. I mean, we still got a little bit of ways to go, but I'm still kind of I would say a seasoned rookie by now, because I've competed a few different times. Competition season for me starts literally next month. I'll be out at Clemson University on the 19th of April for the Palmetto Games. I'll be up in Raleigh the 19th of May through the 22nd for the Valor Games. Should be going out to Arizona to the Desert Challenge at the end of May, as long as they're still having our military camp. And then I'll be at the National Veteran Wheelchair Games at the end of July up in Minneapolis. We're going to try to add a couple more of those in there. But, with working on BBG, which is most important to me, is getting this set up for my fellow veterans. We'll see how time permits to add any more competitions to it.
I'm curious. There's probably someone that's going to listen to this who feels the way that you felt before you took ownership of you. There's probably someone who's down on themselves, might think they can do it, they just don't know how to get started, or they're struggling getting started on their recovery. If someone like that is listening right now, what's your message to them, Big Country?
Well, number one, just like two of the main words on the VBG logo is courage and resilience. You got to have the courage to step out of your comfort zone. You have to get uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's the number one. You have to get ready for that. You got to have that courage to take that step, because you can do it. Yes, it seems scary. It may seem impossible, but how do you know if you haven't tried? And just like anything else in life, failure is our biggest teacher. So just because you fail once, or you fail twice, or you may even fail 3 or 4 times, that is just showing you how not to do something. So just, you got to keep at it. You got to be resilient. You got to have that attitude that I'm going to do this and ask questions. You know, one of the biggest things that I've learned whenever I'm competing with other people is when you start talking to people with disabilities, especially similar disabilities, you actually learn a lot and may learn some things that you didn't know that may help your quality of life. It's a type of cognitive therapy. You get in a group of people, you start having conversations, and then all of a sudden you're learning things that you didn't think about that you would learn, but you're just having that conversation. So if you are disabled and in the point, I would recommend getting into adaptive sports. The community is amazing. The coaches are amazing. You can get into a community of people that have disabilities that can help and coach you through. You know, if you need any advice, look me up. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can message me through my website. Shoot me a message. I'll take some time out and give you some coaching tips and stuff like that to help get you going.
An ounce of courage is all it takes to get started. Just start. Just take the first step. My thought on the subject would be, in coming back from from a busted back after the zipline fall, it is what's the soonest, simplest step that you can take, and just take one. Whatever that might be, the next one thing on the path. Big country, I could talk to you forever about pretty much anything because I feel really comfortable around you. I like you a lot. But I want to ask you, what is it that we've not talked about, or what is it that you would like to share that I've not brought up yet?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think we've covered quite a bit.
Okay.
Just whenever the website and stuff like that comes out, if you go to my Facebook page, Brian Big Country Cornwell, I am verified on Instagram, Facebook and Instagram due to my Paralympic licensing. We do have a GoFundMe set up right now for VBG. Every dollar helps. We are going to be a pretty big multi-million-dollar organization before it's over with. We have a lot to accomplish in the next 2.5 years for our veterans. So, just take and give a little bit of support would mean the world to me and to the people that you are going to help improve their quality of life and show them that they're able to use their disabilities as superpowers instead of a hindrance.
Awesome. Back to the main theme, dear listener, that whatever your challenge is, whatever your disability is, physical, mental, emotional, whatever it is, you can make a comeback. You can overcome it. Just that next step. And it could be a lonely and challenging first step. But like Big Country says, get comfortable being uncomfortable, because you can reclaim and even have a more beautiful life than you can ever imagine. It's been a real pleasure to be with you. I just got a couple questions in a lightning round to wrap things up here today, Big Country. I would ask you this to start. When it comes to music, is there any particular song or genre or artist that just gets you lit up and it just inspires you?
Man, I'm an old school 80s, 90s metalhead. Metallica is my favorite band of all time. I have them in my playlist, but anything that's very energetic and crunching, just makes you feel like you want to run through a wall.
Heck yeah. Inner Sandman is right there on my energy track that I call my little playlist on Spotify.
Yes, sir.
And that kind of gets me going for 8 and 9-year-old girls soccer, which I coach a couple teams. I play Metallica in the car. My girls with it. There's the Metallica.
Literally my first song on my gym playlist is Inner Sandman.
Yeah. Well, so I enter my office every morning. This is the creature of routine and habit. I enter my office every morning with Thunderstruck by AC/DC. So that's the first song of the day. And then when we're on the way to the soccer games on Saturday, and I got 3 girls, so we're going to 3 different games. We've got the energy track, and it has Thunderstruck on. It's got Metallica, Inner Sandman on it. So I'm with you. Awesome. First cassette tape I ever got was Def Leppard Hysteria back when I was in 5th grade, back in the day, and then a little Iron Maiden. So, anyways,
right.
let's go to maybe books, If you're a reader, then is there any book you listen to or any book you read that's had an impact on you that you'd recommend?
Yes, actually. I just got through reading a couple of books from Sean Kanan. The Way of the Cobra is an amazing book. Sean goes through the different levels of karate, white belt, yellow belt, blue, black belt, but it's a way to help strategize your life.
Okay.
Talks about different levels of being happiness and tackling different issues that you may be having in life and building you up, which is a really amazing book. And also Welcome to the Kumite by Sean Kanan as well. I haven't started reading it yet, but there is A Way of the Cobra for couples that him and his wife has written. Very good reads. I recommend those 3 books right there.
You just said Welcome to the Kumite, and I thought about Jean-Claude the Denmark.
Yeah.
So thank you for that good memory. Okay. This is the last question, and you get the last word. Big Country, this is the Eternal Optimist podcast. When I say the words Eternal Optimist, what might that mean to you?
You have to be optimistic about life. The more positive energy that you can bring into your life, it rubs off on other people. Positivity is an infection. When you are happy and you're outgoing and you love life and you see the bright side of things and you're not a negative person, then that's where people want to surround themselves with you. That's where people want to spend time with you, your family, your friends. We need more of that in the world today. We need more people being positive and loving and working together with each other rather than being negative and hateful, because it takes a lot of energy to be negative. It doesn't take a lot of energy to be positive.